Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and in CountyComm's usual over-the-top fashion, they have got a bit driver set. There are 3 versions of this, all depending on what kind of a driver you have, but there are a few other tricks up its sleeve here. Like, first of all, it comes in a very heavy watertight ABS plastic case. They even said they drove over it with a Toyota Tacoma, no damage. I can believe that. But anyway, there are a couple other things going on here. So first, this is the titanium version. Probably would expect nothing less on this channel. And that has to do with the titanium bit driver, which is this little guy here, spinning tail cap. This one sells for $75. There is also an Ultim version that uses this driver, and that one sells for $50. Same everything else, just a change in the bit driver. And there's a brass version that sells for $60. As you know, I'm a fan of titanium, love the CountyComm stuff, USA made here. So let's take a closer look at a few things. First of all, watertight case, bright orange, or high-vis as they call it, plus transparent top. Inside there are 30 bits, but there is room for 112 bits, so you can certainly add quite a few others, or other things, which I'll get to. And then this one is using a magnetic attachment in this titanium housed kind of palm driver, very similar with the Ultim, but lighter. You'll notice this isn't foam. This is a rubbery material. In fact, you can take it out. In fact, it came on this side. I flipped it over so the transparent part was on the top instead of the bottom. However, it's also a glow-in-the-dark material. So, you know, you might come up with some novel uses for that. So basically, if I fire it up here, I'm using the O-lights UV, and then I'll kill the lights, a couple of the lights. Actually, I might as well kill all of them while I'm here. So there it is. Pop this out. You can see now what's going on. You know, I can hit this with the UV and really light it up. So there you go, for what it's worth. Now, like a lot of CountyComm stuff, people might be wondering, well, what's the price, you know, based on? I've got a driver here. Those are available individually. Well, let's take a look at it from the other direction. Let's say you want the snap-on route. You are going to pay way more for, well, for the same, or you can pay the same for considerably less. Like, first of all, you can get into one of these kits from Snap-on with a handful of different bits for about the same price. It kind of depends. You can go $200 if you want to add a driver to it. The driver here, in fact, this is one of my favorites, this little Snap-on guy. To get into something like this is going to cost you more than this entire case. Now, these are a titanium phosphate coated bit. They are, as far as durability goes, you know, they're up there. And it uses all the same, you know, basic sizes. To get into that in the Snap-on, that's going to cost you more. To get into a waterproof case, that's not a Snap-on option. To get into glow-in-the-dark, not a Snap-on option. To get into something literally where you have got secure bit storage, it's like a giant railer almost, you know, with one of the rubberized cases, and the glow-in-the-dark option, which does a couple of things. First of all, if you are working in a low light area and this has been charged, you know, which is why I think the transparent side is good, because you can fire it up through, you know, sunlight or something through here, then you do actually have, you know, a brighter area, so you can easily see this. And you can see where the bits are and where they aren't, because these are black, so you know, it's the negative space. Lots of different opportunities here. So anyway, there it is. This is called the Titanium Complete Master Kit with the precision screwdriver, and again, 3 different options with the price beginning at $50 for a set. What's interesting there is it's probably going to cost you for a good ABS watertight case between, well, maybe 15 and 20 bucks there. Set of bits, custom glow-in-the-dark bit holder, and the titanium. You can see it doesn't seem to be that expensive when you start taking it apart and looking at what you're actually getting. So anyway, good on CountyComm for making a kit like this and offering it at what turns out to be a reasonable price, even though you know, at first glance you might think it's a little on the steep side, but for quality, for titanium, for everything else, no, that's reasonable. The second thing for this is it is possible, I thought about doing this myself, is to add a couple of other components. They do fit in here. I can, because of the height of the bit, I can drop in a couple other things if you are interested in doing that. That popped out, no problem there. So I can supplement the bits. I can also supplement it with a ratchet. I can supplement it with an extension if I want. So there is plenty of room and design for more opportunity here. So there is that. Anyway, CountyComm did send me this. I was curious about it. I wanted to take one on the road. I'm looking at more mobility sources, I guess, for tools. I got a couple more coming from other companies to try out in different tool space than just the bits. But anyway, I like it. I could see carrying this, not worrying about water, not worrying about bumps, not worrying about the durability of the packaging, which is a problem with some of the other sets. And there's plenty of room to supplement with the things that that I use all the time, like you know, a bit driver here. So let me know your thoughts. And with that, Doc out.